Iran to visit for 2 months. I'm an only child, and this was my first experience being at home alone, and to be fully honest, I was very nervous about it. On top of that, I got scheduled to receive surgery as I had some problem with my nose and sinuses. Not having my parents here, Saba stepped up to be my support. I remember on the day of my surgery, she picked me up early in the morning and drove me to the Leduc Hospital. She sat with me in the pre-operation area, and her smiling face was the first thing I saw once the anesthetic wore off. Saba took care of me the days following my surgery, and looking back, she had made a stressful situation in a stressful time one of the most memorable and happy experiences of my life. Saba has influenced the heart of minds of anyone who had the honor of knowing her, so I stand before you with this message. In this world that we live in, it is easy to become desensitized to the tragedies going on around us. I ask everyone to maintain their humanity and be kind to one another. Say hi to your neighbor and ask your friends how they're feeling from time to time. Our lives are not just numbers in an ideological pursuit. Please do not forget Saba, and do not forget those who have lost their lives in this tragic event. Thank you.
I would now like to invite Dr. Fraser Forbes, Dean of Engineering, to speak about the Mojgan Daneshmand, Pedram Mousavi, and victims of Flight PS752 Memorial Fund.
I was asked a few days ago to speak to you about an important initiative that the leaders of our Iranian-Canadian community hold dear to them. But first, I'd like to thank you for coming together over the past few days to share in grieving and to support each other through a devastating time. Earlier this week was the first time I heard the folks on flight described as beacons of light. But you've heard it again over and over this afternoon. These people were dedicated to building a better Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and world. It now falls to each of us to continue to build an enduring legacy. And there's no better way to do so than to provide the opportunity for others, future generations, to become beacons of light. To this end, our Iranian-Canadian community has championed the creation of a foundational scholarship fund which will enable brilliant young people to benefit from a Canadian education here at the University of Alberta and to continue to strengthen Canadian-Iranian cultural ties. Our ambition, or our ambitious goal, is to sustain two $20,000 per year scholarships through a $1 million endowment. This will guarantee the lasting legacy of those who perished on flight PS752. Now, I know as Albertans, as Edmontonians, as Canadians, we can do this together. So I'm asking each of you as individuals, community leaders, senior government officials, and members of the Academy to help us to enable the next generation of beacons of light by supporting this endowment. Thank you.
Here to honor the lives of both Arash Purzarabi and Pune Gurji, graduate students in computing science, is their close friend, Amir Furuzande.
I'm here on behalf of some close friends that Arash and Pune had in Edmonton. I'd like to acknowledge that Pune's family, Arash's family, as well as their close friends could not be here with us today. As many of you might know, Arash and Pune celebrated their wedding in Iran with their families and friends on January 1st. You know, they were planning to have a small ceremony with their close friends when they got back here in Edmonton. Today could have been the day, and we would have gathered to celebrate their love instead of mourning their loss. And instead of reading this, I would be making a toast to them, their love, and the wonderful journey ahead of them. When someone passes away, you always hear how kind they were, how brilliant they were. It almost sounds like a cliche, but Arash and Pune were the kindest people I have ever met. They really were. Always smiling, always caring about their friends, making sure everyone's fine. They had this calming effect, which I cannot really explain, but you could feel it whenever they were present. Whenever we would hang out, Pune would make sure everyone's having a good time. No one felt left out, ever. If you were even a little upset, you couldn't hide it from Pune. She knew all the right questions to ask, and she had all the right answers too. She knew how to make you feel better, and it wasn't just her friends. She genuinely cared about people, wanting everyone to be happy. Arash was like the dad of the group. Whenever we were all together, he would make sure everyone's comfortable, having fun. If there was something that he could help with, you would be sure to count on him, that he would always be there for you. I cannot remember Arash being mad at or even upset with anyone, ever. He was always calm and collected, which helped us be calm as well. It is an irony that the people who would always talk to us to calm us down and make us feel better are not here for us right now, in the darkest days of our lives. Arash and Pune were full of life, always excited about trying new things. It could be about reading a new book, watching a show, or trying out a new sport that they had never played before. It wasn't difficult to get them excited about something. I remember it was the best thing watching Pune's reaction when we surprised her for her birthday. We used to joke that from now on, no matter whose birthday it is, we're just giving a gift to Pune instead. They were both very excited about their research projects and their work as well. I remember Arash explaining to me what he was working on around the time that he started, and he would dumb it down for me to understand. He was so passionate about it that it even got me excited. And the times that we were not working, but we did, and the game itself was just an excuse. There are so many things that reminds us of them, so many memories. Everywhere we look, we see a part of them. In our homes, in the streets, in every little corner of our lives, we see Arash and Pune. We can't even open that silly video game anymore. There's just so much of them that we carry with ourselves in our everyday lives that can never be forgotten, and it never will be. The world has lost its colors. In the summer, we took a trip together to Banff National Park. We didn't know that it was going to be our last trip together. Because the second night, we left for Golden, British Columbia. The place we were staying at had a nice fireplace. We sat by the fire and talked. We were trying to come up with different things that we could do, like a game to play or whether we should explore the town. But we ended up just talking by the fire, talking about different things that we want to do, what the future plans are for each of us, and then we are going to achieve these things. But after a while, we realized that no matter what we want to do or where we want to go, we want to have this group of people, us being able to sit together by the fire and just talk. Pune actually suggested that we should get a big house and all of us move in and just live together. I remember actually looking up a few places that we could one day move into. A few months after, it was Thanksgiving and we decided to cook a turkey at their place. We were not But this time, since we didn't have a fireplace, Arash turned off the lights, played a fireplace video on YouTube, and put it on the TV. We realized we didn't need to buy a house together. We were already a family, living in different apartments. There are no words that could describe how this loss feels. We are still in denial. We cannot believe that we will never hear them say hi to us. They had their own unique ways of saying hi, their voices, their tone, everything. Whenever we would go to their place, you knew what to expect at the door, depending on which one of them is there waiting to greet you. Pune would pop her head out the door with the biggest smile on her face, saying hi. Excuse me. And Arash is standing back and welcoming you with that funny phrase, which I wish I could somehow translate into English. Their voices keep replaying in our heads every second. I cannot accept that I will never hear their voices again. I wish I could just talk to them once more, only once. That's all I want. All of us used to have these long discussions about what happens after we die. I have the answer now. I'm sure there is something. There is an afterlife, where we all would meet again with both of them, this time waiting for us together at the door, saying hi to us like they always did. Thank you.
Here to honor the life of Mohammad Mahdi Ilyasi, mechanical engineering alumnus, is Mohammad's friend Rafat Jami.
I'm here to talk today to speak about my good friend Mohammad Ilyasi, who we lost in this terrible tragedy. I met him about 4 years ago when I started my master's at the University of Alberta. I remember the first day when I walked into my office, and I immediately noticed how he always had a smile on his face, even though he was completely behind on all his assignments and very stressed. He was telling me how, oh, you know, I have 3-4 assignments due after TA, and I'm like, why are you so happy about this? And he's like, I don't know, it's just a challenge. That's what he would always tell me. In almost no time, I realized he was a lot like me, especially our crazy routines. Most people would be leaving the office at 5 p.m., but I'd tend to stay late, and he was always there too. As the months passed, he became someone I spent most of the hours of my day with, whether it was in the lab, whether it was in the office, or whether we were getting lunch together. We always talked about our research, our ideas, our relationships, our families, and the things we wanted to do in the future. I don't think there was a single thing we never talked about. Before I knew it, in a short time, he became one of my closest friends. If I went through every good thing about Mohammed, it would probably take me days. Mohammed spent a little over 2 years at the Laboratory of Turbulence in Mechanical Engineering at the U of A. He worked on optical systems and how to use them to measure different types of fluid flows. Anyone that's worked in our research group, they know it's not an easy thing. He was a very strong researcher, and he was full of innovative and bright ideas. During his master's, he not only spent time in the lab, but he was very big on helping out in the community. He helped new international students get settled here in Canada, helped out in donation drives and charities. I think it was one of his principles to give as much back to the community as he could, whether that was through his research or his spare time. After he finished his master's, right away, and I said, yeah, for sure. Despite being crazy busy with his part-time work, trying to get his startup running, he continued to support newcomers to Canada. He taught English to Syrian refugees. He also dedicated a lot of his time to the Paradise Charity Group, which provides basic necessities for less fortunate children. When Mohammed moved to Toronto, it was a hard transition for me, not seeing him every day anymore. Luckily, he still made a lot of time for me, and he called me lots. We even would visit each other a few times a year. He always had that same smile, and he radiated the same positivity. I think everyone that knows him would know that. I missed him a lot when he moved, but it's nothing compared to the amount of loss I feel now. Both Mohammed's sisters and his brother-in-law reside here in Edmonton, and I can say that the amount of his loss that his family feels is unimaginable. Mohammed left us too soon. Although he may not have completed all the dreams he set out for, the many positive impacts and contributions he made will live with us forever. I hope, Mohammed, your soul finds eternal peace. To Mohammed's family and friends, I extend my deepest condolences and prayers. I also give my condolences to all of you who are affected by the recent events. Mohammed, thank you for bringing joy, compassion, and positivity into my life. I'll always miss you, brother.
Here to honor the life of Nasim Rahmanifar, graduate student in mechanical engineering, is Anahita Shokr. A video will be played for
We played basketball and volleyball every week in Pavilion. I remember the time she bought her ticket back to Iran. She was really excited, and she decided to surprise her family, so she didn't tell them that she was going back to Iran for Christmas. Every morning when she woke up, she told me 20 days are left, 19 days are left. She was really, really excited. And I know she managed to surprise them. But as her mom said, she surprised them again the way she left. Nasim was a fantastic friend for me. She was always there for me when I needed her. She was a fun person to be around. Whenever she was there, we were happy, we were not bored. She always made us do fun things. She made us eat ice cream in the middle of the night when it was freezing cold. And once we took 3 buses to buy some nails to put our frame on the wall, and we had so much fun during this time. I could always have fun when Nasim was around. Nasim's friend and classmate, Amir Hossein Saidi Nia, was on that plane too, and he was going to start his PhD studies in the University of Alberta. And Nasim was so excited that he was joining her here. And I remember they talked all the time, and Nasim told her everything whenever we went somewhere where we did something. Nasim was telling Amir Hossein about it, and she told him, we are going to do all of these things again when you come here. You're not missing anything, don't worry. It is really sad. It breaks my heart that they are not going to do those things together. Amir Hussein is never going to see Edmonton. And all those plans are not going to happen. Nasim was a fantastic friend for us, and we will never forget her. And I really don't know what I have to do in Edmonton without Nasim. I really don't know how I should come back and go to our apartment. Thank you.
Here to honor the life of Sara Saadat, psychology alumna, is Sarah's friend, Rian Schweib.
Thank you all for being here today. I am honored to stand here to tell you about the most beautiful person I have ever known. Sarah graduated from the University of Alberta with a degree in psychology. Last year, she was accepted into Alliant University's PsyD program for clinical psychology, and I can't think of anyone more cut out for success in this field. She had a way to see through the darkness in people and find their light. She paid attention to her friends. She noticed when they were silently hurting and was by their side throughout every struggle. Sarah put her loved ones first and put their happiness above everything. No matter how busy her life got, she made time to surprise you with a birthday cake, or buy that Mother's or Father's Day gift, or make that FaceTime call to a friend in need. Because she understood that the things in life that actually matter are the relationships we maintain with the people around us. Sarah was put into our lives for a reason. Getting over this loss will be so hard to those who knew her because of how good she was to all of us. Sarah was the person who was always there for you. She was so kind and so selfless. She took care of me since the day I met her. She picked me up to go to university every day. She brought coffee to my doorstep when I had a final exam approaching, when her own final exam was the very next day. Every morning she asked me if I slept okay. When I was feeling down, she tried everything to make me feel better, even if we just drove around and listened to songs in her car. She looked after me so much, my mom started calling me her second mom. She was the container of joy that I turned to when I was sad, and the beacon of hope I looked for when I felt helpless. I want to end with some advice and values that Sarah had taught me throughout our time together. Don't be scared to talk about your feelings. Seek help when you feel lost. Never discriminate someone based on race, gender, sexuality, or age. If you see wrong in the world, speak up against it. Be vulnerable with friends and family. Tell them you love them. Tell them you miss them. Never give up on the people you cannot live without. Friends and family of Sarah, I know we have lost someone irreplaceable. It doesn't even seem possible to begin to move on, but I'm hopeful that as time goes on and the pain has almost fully healed, we will be left with the rare beauty of knowing someone who loved us so purely. I pray to God, Sarah, that you knew how much you were loved by everyone around you and how much you impacted the lives of the people lucky enough to call you a friend. Thank you.
Here to honor the life of Elnaz Nabii, graduate student in the School of Business, is Elnaz's friend, Maryam Zakeri.
Hi everyone, thank you for gathering here and for your time. I'm Mariam, Elnaz's classmate at Alberta School of Business. I and Elnaz were in the same university in undergrad, and I knew her from that time. We got closer when she got admitted to Alberta School of Business PhD program in spring 2018. Tell me the definition of unfair. Loss of such a brilliant, caring, and kind person is still unbelievable for me. I really would like to talk about her and what I learned from her during that short period. However, due to limited time, I prefer to talk about her on behalf of her sister, Parisa. She's in Iran now. She couldn't make it to come here. She was an exceptionally talented woman from Zanjan, Iran, a brilliant graduate of electrical engineering and MBA programs from Sharif University of Technology. Determined woman with big dreams, so big that the world looks so small in her eyes indeed. The ingenious woman who was successful at whatever she attempted. She set an example of courage and compassion, hoping to inspire everyone who knew her. Anyone knowing her is aware that she was a warm-hearted and loving person. As an extremely sociable person, she always knew how to make family and friends smile and bring them closer together. Whenever I was feeling down, she could easily put a grin on my face from ear to ear. Elna's always had a gorgeous smile on her face too, with a positive, fun-loving attitude. My sister was only 30 years old and had so much to live for. She spent a lot of time looking after me growing up throughout my whole life. She was caring and loving like a mother and strong and supportive like a father. She was taken from us unjustly while advocating justice her whole life. I do not want to leave such great moments in the past. I want them now, and I am more certain that we are together forever, closer than ever. Elnaz, you will be in our hearts forever. Each and every moment together and all the joyful reminiscences keep our hearts beating forever. A few days ago, we celebrated your 30th birthday. I wish the other world has better gifts for you. Rest in peace, lovely Elnaz.
Not only Elnaz and I shared University of Alberta as our graduate school, but we went to the same high school in Iran, Farzanegan. When, for the first time, we met each other at University of Alberta almost after a decade, I instantly was touched by her kind heart and realized how deeply she cared about other people. To describe someone as very kind and innocent, in Farsi we say, she couldn't have even harmed an ant, as ants are very small and we unintentionally and constantly step on them. And it breaks my heart that I am describing her personality in past tense already. So soon, so young, so bright, and so beautiful. The following words are from her husband, Jawad, who is also a PhD student here at UAB, and he's now in Iran. Elnaz was a really kind person. She was always eager to learn and experience new things. She was very sensitive to injustice, and she always cared about Iranian people's well-being. She loved Canada, and she wanted to start a new life here. The beauty of Canada, in her viewpoint, was its multiculturalism. She always wanted to learn about other cultures, and she appreciated that she had that opportunity in Canada. I wholeheartedly believe that she's right now, and she's watching us. I really regret that I could not spend more time with her. I have lots of unforgettable memories with her, which recalling them makes me feel better. I miss her a lot. Thank you.
To everyone who came forward today to share memories and honor the lives of those we have lost, thank you. You have our most heartfelt condolences, sympathy, and respect. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, families, colleagues, partners, loved ones, thank you for coming today. To the many, many dignitaries who were able to join us today, thank you. Your presence means a tremendous amount to all of us gathered here. Hundreds of volunteers and community members dedicated countless hours this week to organize today's memorial. To everyone who helped, you have our most sincere gratitude. This marks the end of the program. However, I invite everyone to stay, to share more memories and stories, and to remember and celebrate all those whom we have lost. There are memorial books outside for anyone who likes to write a few lines for our departed friends. Thank you.
今天这个活动，加拿大总理也参加了。我们今天的转播到此结束。海外华人直播，我们不办高盛，我们直播传真。本节目是由美国加州奥克兰市英体世家赞助播出。
Of human folly. And, to that, we were talking all day about the lives that have been lost and the contributions that they were making, lives that were cut short, and lives that held so much promise that now we're never going to know.
No, it's so true, Michael, and especially in this world of academia.